bandwidth, and so on. It also has some icons at the top, notifications that come from other applications. You know, of course, you see that in other phones as well, where you've got a mail or an SMS message or a calendar that the phone wants to make you aware of. Well, in most phones, you actually kind of have to guess and say, well, you know, where did that come from? What app launched or put that notification in? Well, with Android, you just touch on the status bar and drag it down, and you have access to all notifications, and this is available to you from any application in the system. You don't have to be on the home screen to pull on your status bar. Anywhere you're on the device, you click it, and then you can click on my calendar notification here. It'll tell me I have a test at 9 o'clock, and you can dismiss it that way. So you can easily get your missed calls, read email, etc. through the accessible status bar. We also have a home screen here that I mentioned before. It shows you applications that you can launch, various apps I have on the device, some favorites along the bottom. It also has a couple areas on it that you can move around to. So with a simple gesture of your hand, you can fling it around. You've got a Google search box, a clock. You want to move your clock around to customize it, simply drag it over. You can actually, customize things any way you like. You can also create shortcuts. Simply by pressing on an empty space here, it brings up a menu. Let's say I wanted to create a shortcut to my favorite browser bookmark. Let's say I want to, do the New York Times, and then it creates a New York Times icon here, which is very easy to access for your web browser. You can also create shortcuts to other things. For example, Gmail, music playlists, contacts. For example, if I wanted to have a favorite contact on my desktop here, just simply create it, and then I have simple one-tap access to the contact card for Adam. Not his real number, so don't worry about trying to call him there. So I showed you a little bit about the home screen again. Very simple app launcher. You notice that the icons at the bottom are persistent, so you have your favorites along with all your customized content. We also talked early on about the WebKit and the web browser. So if I go ahead and look at the browser here, it's going to take us to the Google homepage, which is basically something they call Grand Prix. It's basically Google made for mobile devices. Gives you a Google search box, access to your calendar, access to your Gmail, etc. So basically, this app was written for WebKit-enabled phones. Didn't have to be modified to run on Android. Very just works out of the box. So any work you do that is taking advantage of WebKit-enabled phones will work on Android without any modification. Another thing I want to show you on Android is some of the cool zooming technology. So here we have, we'll go to the Google I/O site here. And this is obviously the conference that you're at. You can see the website for it. You can do basic things like flinging the page around. You can also use some zoom stuff. For example, if you double tap, you get a little magnifier. By dragging that magnifier around, pick the part of the page you want to zoom in on, and we can go see Chris DeBona up close and personal there. You can use this to navigate any site that you want to have access to and zoom in on a particular part of the page. Next, I'll show you Google Maps. Again, very important mobile application. We have a 3G network that we're on here, and this device is 3G capable. So you'll notice that with 3G capable networks, you have very quick, easy access to all the Google Maps data. You can switch map modes here, for example. We can go to satellite view, and you can watch all the tiles load in at 3G speeds, and you can imagine what your apps are going to be able to do when they build themselves on top of GMM with 3G networking behind them. They're going to be capable of some pretty impressive and powerful things. And then another app that I want to show you really quick is, you've probably heard about our developer conference, developer challenge, where we sponsored an event to get all kinds of entries. We've had just huge interest in that. We've seen a lot of different entries, and actually the thing I'm going to show you was not even an entry in the contest, but rather was done by our friends at Namco. Quick little diversion. One of my favorite classic games here, Pac-Man. Go ahead and start up a new game. Got some time to kill, so you guys have nothing else to do, right? So you can watch me play Pac-Man for a couple minutes. So here we go. Unfortunately, the sound isn't coming across real well here, but it's got all the favorite beeps, and it actually vibrates when you die, so it reminds you that you got eaten by a monster. Lastly, what I want to show you is some actually, newer technology, something like Street View here. You've probably seen Street View in the past. Basically the technology that we have in here, which uses the Street View tiles that come in from the web. With a flick of your finger, you can easily navigate around. But one of my favorite new features on Street View is the ability to use the built-in compass in this device. Switch on to compass mode. And then you can see that this device will actually track my movements. Don't even have to lift a finger. So that's it. Just wanted to give you a taste of some of the cool new things that are coming for Android, and we can't wait to see the kind of applications that you'll build for the platform. Thanks very much.